I the asshole for going topless at a nude beach in front of friends? Ooh, this does not sound good. Let's get into it. I was invited to a 3-day vacation with 3 of my girlfriends and their husbands, plus 2 of the husbands' single guy friends. On the last day, we were exploring the city and came upon a beach. It looked nice and fun, so we hung out there for a while before stumbling on an adults-only nude section of it. There weren't many people overall, but I did see a few other women in the distance without tops on, so I felt it was clear to take mine off as well. It was great. Nobody else joined me though. I wonder why. We all continued to talk and joke in a circle for a while, and I thought we were all having a really fun time. Then one of my friends said she felt sick, so we left abruptly early, and our conversation on the way back was basically uncomfortably silent, with the exception of low talking that I wasn't part of and some of the guys goofing around. Later that night at the main room, I find myself avoided by almost everyone until I'm confronted like it's an intervention by the 3 girls about how it was inappropriate for me to expose myself in front of their husbands. I was shocked and told them I didn't mean anything by it. They said, "Isn't it obvious that you don't just go naked in front of your friends' husbands?" And were like, "Notice how you were the only one and you didn't wonder why?" This exploded into a further argument with me calling them insecure about their relationships until it culminated eventually into them all saying they don't trust me to be a part of their friend group anymore. All I thought I was doing was enjoying myself at a beach, not exposing myself to their husbands. Am I the asshole? Am I the asshole for deciding to spend time with my newborn daughter than with my wife? I, 27 male, am doing my residency in a surgical specialty working 12-hour shifts regularly. More often than not, I work more than 80 hours a week. A few days ago, I worked a 24-hour shift at the hospital and got Monday evening off. My wife, 24 female, wanted us to go out for dinner, but I told her that I'd prefer staying at home with our infant daughter. That way, I can spend some time with both her and our daughter, who I don't see nearly as much as I want to, and also get some rest. I told her that I understand being cooped up all day at home can be very boring, so we could do something quick, 30 minutes or less, but that I want to spend most of our time at home. She was pretty upset by this, but I'm honestly past arguing at this point. Don't get me wrong, my wife is a wonderful mother and wife, and taking care of a newborn is certainly not easy, but she is also supported by my parents who live with us and is not doing anything anywhere near as physically or cognitively demanding as what I am doing. I'm dangerously close to crossing over into burnout territory with how much I am working, and it would be hard to continue functioning at this pace without any rest. Besides, I don't want to compromise a single second with my baby for anything else unless I absolutely have to. I'm not spending nearly as much time with her as I should. Am I the asshole? Am I the asshole for throwing my friend a surprise birthday party and not inviting her secret married lover? Wow. Let's get into it. A girlfriend and I threw our other girlfriend a surprise birthday party. It was a large gathering that included her family, friends, and business associates. She's the kind of person who loves these sorts of celebratory events, and the surprise aspect of this wasn't upsetting or uncomfortable for her at all. She absolutely loved the party and all the effort we put into it. The issue came afterwards when the man she's having a secret affair with loses his shit that he wasn't invited. He's married, she isn't, and no one knows about the affair except the 2 of us friends throwing the party. Now, I don't care at all about how he felt about being excluded. He, however, successfully got our friend upset about it as well, to the point of her telling us it was crappy of us not to invite him. What the hell? I'm absolutely shocked she had the audacity to say this to us. Am I in the wrong? Am I the asshole for telling my child's daycare teacher that my child won't finish cleaning up? My 2-year-old daughter has been in a home daycare for a few months now. The teacher, Sasha, is very nice. I am normally all for my daughter cleaning her own messes. However, I find when I arrive, Sasha expects my daughter to finish cleaning up whatever she was playing with, which again would be fine, but it delays us getting out the door and heading home. Sometimes we have plans, etc. I started texting Sasha when I was so many minutes away, asking her to get my daughter ready, and that seemed to work. My daughter would be in her jacket and reading a book, easy to put away versus a huge project. Until today, things were crazy and I was in a rush. We had a lot to do this afternoon and I was running behind because I had car trouble. When I arrived, my daughter and some friends were in the middle of cleaning up a big mess. I told my daughter that we had to go and to get her coat. Sasha said she needed to finish cleaning up her part. I said any other day, sure, but I am running late and we cannot miss this appointment. Sasha tried arguing that the kids need to learn responsibility and I flat out said no. I grabbed my daughter, put her coat on, and left. As I said, hectic afternoon, so I only just now had time to check my text. I had one from Sasha saying poor planning on my part doesn't mean I can break rules. I pointed out this is not in the contract and I can bring my child home whenever I need or want. She accused me of undermining her authority. I was given a verbal warning, which I found ridiculous. Am I the asshole? Am I the asshole for bringing an emotional support animal to a funeral despite my daughter's wishes? I am a 38 male. Daughter Isa, fake name, is 17 female. Stepdaughter Ava, also fake name, is 9 female. Isa's stepfather recently died. I felt terrible because I knew while they weren't super close, he'd been in her life since she was 5, so I knew it must have hit hard. My family was also invited to the funeral. The issue is, however, Ava has horrible social anxiety. She's homeschooled because of it and has difficulty going to social outings. She's in therapy and has an emotional support rabbit named Luna. Since this funeral would be pretty crowded, we decided to let Ava bring Luna to the funeral. Isa, my daughter, had a problem with that. Isa quickly told me she didn't think it was a good idea. Pets were not allowed at this particular cemetery. I told her this was a rabbit. What harm could it do? And Ava had a medical reason for bringing her rabbit. She then looked it up on Google and showed me only service animals were allowed to come. I told her I'd bring Luna, and if an issue arose, we'd leave. She begged me not to, saying her stepdad's death was already hard enough on her mom, and she didn't want any drama to make it worse. I told her I'd think about it and keep that in mind. The thing is, Ava needs her emotional support pet. She wouldn't make it through the funeral if she didn't. She also really wanted Ava there, so what else could we do? Isa drove to the funeral with her mom. While my family and I drove together, we brought Luna. Isa and her mom were waiting for us at the entrance when we got out. When Isa saw Luna, she freaked out and started yelling that she told me not to bring her. I explained Ava's needs, and she then screamed that Ava should have just stayed home then and caused Ava to cry. I felt bad because I know she was already dreading the social interaction, so hearing her sister say that must have hurt her badly. My wife and Isa got into it after that. Not so kind words were spoken by either party. Her mom took Isa's side and told us to leave. I agreed and we went home. Isa has been giving me the cold shoulder, but I don't know how else I could have handled this differently. Am I the asshole? Am I the asshole for leaving my friend's wedding when she told me I needed to cover up my psoriasis? I, 24 female, have psoriasis. It's all over my body and presents like vitiligo in a way, just so you can get an image in your head. I have medicated cream that helps with the itchiness, and also it helps with the dryness. The psoriasis is all over my body, with it stopping right on my neck, and I do have a few spots on the sides of my face near my ears. I have always been pretty embarrassed as I cannot kick on enough makeup to truly cover my psoriasis, as it is textured and thick, and on top of that, no matter what I do or however I attempt to apply said makeup, it always looks horrible. My doctor also recommended not to smother the areas with makeup as it tends to make it worse and itchier. Anyways, onto the story. My friend's wedding was on Saturday, and of course I was invited. I bought a dress that would cover my body fairly well, as I really didn't want to draw any attention to myself. The entire week leading up to the wedding, I was continuously testing concealers on the remaining spots that were exposed, which only made me itchy, and I basically scratched my skin raw. With psoriasis, those areas sometimes bleed if I scratch too much, which is what happened. My boyfriend, who was attending the wedding with me, told me I shouldn't worry about it and that it would be better if I stopped trying to cover them, as it was just making it worse. I reluctantly agreed, and we attended the wedding ceremony. It was great. I was extremely happy for my friend and her now husband, but as we were leaving to go to cocktail hour, she pulled me aside and asked if I was going home to cover my psoriasis. I was a little taken aback and explained I couldn't, as the entire week I had been testing concealers and it made it 20 times worse. She told me she didn't care and that this was her wedding and she didn't want her guests asking me questions or feeling queasy during dinner. Wow. My boyfriend stepped in and told her if that was the case, we would be leaving and not attending the rest of the wedding. She was pissed off and extremely angry at that choice, and ever since then she's been ranting to our friends about it. Am I the asshole here? I know what I'm thinking, but please leave your comments below. Who's the asshole? I'm sure we can all agree on this one. Am I the asshole for not telling my religious family I'm dying? I was diagnosed with an incurable cancer about 4 months ago. I was told I had 4 to 5 months of relatively normal life and then probably a very steep slope down to my demise. I'm at peace and fighting might give me an extra few months but a massive quality of life cost. I chose not to tell anyone apart from my partner, and we got married in secret a month or so ago so that he could have the final say on anything medical for me. I'm not my family's favorite son for religious reasons. However, one of the main reasons that I didn't say anything was my youngest sister was getting married at New Year, and I really didn't want to overshadow her day, and my stepsister was having the first family grandchild at Christmas, and again I didn't want to overshadow that as well. Everything went fine for them and there was no drama. Ian and I were hosted, if a little ungraciously, during the holidays, but he gave up his family celebrations to be with me and attend various baby things and a wedding. Last weekend I was visiting my family trying to build a few bridges before I finally told them, and had a major medical incident and ended up in the hospital. There my mom, who shouldn't have been told, found out I had cancer and that I was married. All hell has broken loose, since not only the fact that I'm dying, that's because I live a sinful life, but that I didn't immediately return home on the diagnosis and throw myself onto my family family for forgiveness and for them to care. My sister has accused me of ruining her special year. Her special year, girl, is a wedding. And my other sister saying I didn't give the opportunity of naming their son after me, and general me attitude. The family held a prayer intervention at the hospital where I was preached at by my family members, and hangers on with my mom taking center stage all the time. So I've traveled home. Ian arranged ambulance to return me to a hospice near my home and friends with palliative care for this period, and I'm basically going no contact. I can't deal with their issues, but according to the exploding phone I have, I'm the asshole. So am I the asshole for leaving my family to deal with this on their own and leaving the limited time I have left my way? Am I the asshole for not wanting my fiance's daughter to come on our honeymoon? But I am always kind, considerate towards her, and would never be mean or nasty to her. She does irritate me though from time to time, and honestly, I am glad on a Sunday evening when she's going back home to her mother's. My fiance now wants to bring his daughter on our honeymoon also, seeing as we will be bringing our baby. He doesn't want her to feel left out. I do understand where he's coming from, but I really don't want her to come. I know I won't enjoy the honeymoon half as much if she's there. She's not my daughter, and I just don't feel fully comfortable when she's around. I wouldn't be able to relax in the same way. We've had an argument about it now, and he can't understand where I am coming from. He thinks that bringing the baby and bringing his daughter is the same thing and doesn't understand why I don't want her to come. I feel like I may come across as the asshole here, but I just want to enjoy my honeymoon.